Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's the DaBuffNerd Gamer here. Back now from a long hiatus due to, a pandemic. Lots of things have changed. As you can see, the dreads are gone now. They're no longer there. I have a son now, my very first child, so that's pretty awesome as well. And as a Microsoft fan who now owns the Series S and the Series X, this week I was gifted with an amazing list of news articles that said that Microsoft had acquired Activision. They acquired Blizzard, and they also acquired King Games for a whopping $68.7 billion, which has to be the biggest acquisition in video game history. In acquisition history, that's just an insane number. That's like Dr. Evil numbers. That's ridiculous. I can't believe that this news didn't break out about this deal. Everything was kept like hush hush until we got the news last week. As a Microsoft fan, this is awesome. So Microsoft now owns Call of Duty. They now own WoW. They now own Tony Hawk. They now own Guitar Hero. They now own, ironically, Crash Bandicoot and Spyro now. It's insane. That's insane. They now own Starcraft. The list goes on and on and on, and I'm sure if we dig through the history of like Activision, Blizzard, and King Games, we'll see lots of games that are out there. We can pretty much guarantee that all of those games will be moving over into Gamepass. Similar with the big Bethesda acquisition, all the Doom games moved over, all of the Bethesda games, Skyrim, all the Fallout games moved over. If you're a Game Pass subscriber, this is going to be awesome for you. Right now, I think Game Pass is just an amazing deal, and anyone who tells you different is just lying to themselves. Game Pass has over 300 games in it. Xbox is really trying to like bait you into their ecosystem. Now with all these acquisitions, it seems like Microsoft is now like the home of first-person shooters. If you want to play any of the new first-person shooters, you're going to have to come over to Game Pass, and you're going to have to come over to the Xbox platform. Only thing that Sony has had in terms of first-person shooters is really Call of Duty. Killzone, it's fading to the background. It really wasn't that popular of an IP, but Call of Duty was the first-person shooter that PlayStation guys can play. And Phil Spencer has gone on to say that, we're going to keep Call of Duty, all the games that are currently now on the platform of Sony, we're going to still keep those going. We're not going to take them. But you don't buy Activision Blizzard for $68 billion and say, oh yeah, we're going to just go ahead. Yeah, you guys can play our games too. You can still profit. Nah. I think any games going forward that have been contractually obligated to release on the PlayStation 5 will still go through. Of course, Microsoft's going to honor those contracts, but any new IPs coming out of Activision for Call of Duty, that's going to be on Xbox only. So as a Microsoft fan, you're going to find this, exciting. This is great, but online, it's crazy. I've seen a lot of hate come over from the PlayStation side of things, from the gamers on PlayStation, saying that this isn't fair. Microsoft you can't do that. You can't buy studios like this, monopoly, blah, 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 blah. But like Sony fans harp on the fact that you can't buy their games on the Xbox or the Nintendo platform. Up until recently, PC. That's their one thing. Like Sony has made their cash from doing similar things. They've locked IPs onto the PlayStation platform and said, well, if you want to play Spider-Man, you have to come over to PlayStation. If you want to play God of War, you have to come over to PlayStation. Horizon Forbidden West, got to get a PlayStation. All of these titles have been locked into the PlayStation, and you're not going to see those on Xbox. So to hear Sony fans saying that, oh, it's unfair for Microsoft to buy up studios and all that stuff, it's hypocrisy. It's ridiculous. PlayStation does the same things. They've bought studios, and now those games are developed primarily for PlayStation. Insomniac Games, who made Sunset Overdrive on the Xbox One, a very good game, has now been bought up by PlayStation. And now they make Ratchet and Clank, and they're only making games for PlayStation. All I can say is if you're a Sony fan, I would be looking at Sony right now and be like, hey, y'all gonna have to do something, okay? Because right now, if you want to play any of their games, any of their new stuff, you have to dish out $70, $80 per title to get that game and to play it, okay? They have PS Now, which allows you to play some of their older games, on their service, but they're not dropping day one exclusives onto the platform, okay? With Xbox Gamepass, you get a tremendous value. Anything that's new, all the new stuff, is day one on the service. You pay your $10 or your $15, depending on which tier of Game Pass you got, and bam, you got the game. Okay, you don't have to pay $70, $80 for these games. It makes financial sense for a gamer. If I'm a gamer, I'm coming in there, I'm like, okay, wait, how can I save some money? I'm going with Game Pass. I'm not paying $70, $80 for brand new games, especially in a day where everything is digital. You don't have to do distribution anymore. And so those costs have to be cut. I know a lot of people are buying games digitally now. Some still holding back, and still holding on to their discs, but you don't need to rake up the price to $70, $80. It's ridiculous, okay? Anyway, that's my 2 cents. That's just what I wanted to talk about a little bit in this video. I'm gonna get back in the rhythm of doing more YouTube videos now. I got a nice setup in here. Everything's calmed down, okay? But yeah, what do you guys think about this acquisition? Is this a monopoly? Is Microsoft cheating some kind? Which I don't even. Whatever. Do you think they're cheating, or do you think this is a good move? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm the Buff Nerd Gamer. Keep on playing. Peace.